Good morning, and welcome to our continuing series on homeopathy with our dear friend Dr. Pachegaonkar. Namaskar. We titled this session Adjusting the Body to Hot Weather. Many of us come from cold climates where the blood is quite thick, and the summers here are very difficult for us. One does have some thinning of the blood, I guess, but it's often not enough. What do we do?
In fact, what we say is one has to be cool internally. So, if the main thing is we can have a coolant in the form of water in our body. So, when one is properly hydrated throughout the heat time, by way of sweating, body can cool itself down. So only one thing we have to do is we have to see that we are properly hydrated throughout. So drink little more water. Naturally you feel thirsty in summer because even body also craves more water, it warrants it. But sometimes we deceive our body. Like for example, if one is too much thirsty and with a dry throat, one tends to drink chilled water, which is not advised, because chilled water will satiate your thirst. It will satisfy your thirst, but it will not provide you enough fluid. Therefore, we advise that you drink water which is closer to your body temperature. It can be like between 30 to 40, whatever temperature you drink it. You sit and drink slowly, and especially drink lot of water before food on empty stomach.
For each meal?
Not only each meal, even the casual eating, even snacks if you are eating, even small thing you are eating, you first drink lot of water. Doesn't matter like 5 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier, because water on empty stomach has minimum emptying time. So when you drink fluid on empty stomach, your body gets it within no time. It disseminates in the body within minutes, and then if you drink, you are like properly hydrated for few hours. So every time when you eat, first ensure that you have taken enough fluid before eating. And like how should be the quantity? We have seen some patients who feel dry heat, and if coincidentally they are on empty stomach, we give them fluid, and within 5 minutes they start sweating. A cold sweat pervades, and then they feel much comfortable. So to cope with the heat, we have to drink lot of water. Mainly the people suffer more during transition, when winter ends and the summer starts. It's a contrast. So daytime it becomes hot, nighttime still it is cold. So there also you have to be so careful that you are not suddenly exposed to heat as well as suddenly exposed to cold. Especially the people who use air conditioner in summer here, they suffer more because of sudden transition. So we always advise that when you are using air conditioned room, before going in the air conditioned room, you acclimatize yourself under shade. So from hot sun, with exposure to hot sun, if you are entering the cold room, acclimatize yourself in a non-AC shade room for say 10 to 15 minutes and then go in the AC room. Similarly, when you are going out from air conditioned room, cold temperature, then again you acclimatize yourself in a non-AC room for 10-15 minutes and then go out in the sun. Similarly, like someone traveling in AC car, in Pondicherry, like hot weather, when you are traveling in AC car and you have to get down where the temperature is like 40 42, suddenly generally in car we keep between 20 to 25, and when we come out it's like a sudden furnace
Yes.
like feeling. So we suggest that you calm down the AC or put it off at least for 2 3 minutes before you are to get down. And at the same time, don't enter the AC car which is already cool. Best is you sit in the car and then make the AC on, so that slowly it gets cooler. So this is how we advise, and then you can cope with any temperature.
Some people don't sweat or have very little sweat, and they don't drink much water. In colder climates, temperate climates, it may not, is it just as necessary?
See, in cold climate also, you must have seen that when it is a dry cold,
Mm-hmm.
the humidity in the air is very low.
Very low.
So drying also is fast there of the skin. So we have seen some cases where the skin dryness, which goes to pathological level, is only in winter. Especially in India, we have seen the people who are away from seashore where humidity is very low, like Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi.
Oh.
So even in winter, you are supposed to drink more water to keep yourself hydrated properly. But naturally, the sweating will be less for cooling. See, for cooling, if our body is sweating, is one thing, but body has to sweat as a what we call excretion. So even if a cold climate, even below, like 6 degrees Celsius and all, person would sweat, but that sweat will get instantly dry. So you don't realize it subjectively. But minimal amount of sweating is there to keep skin healthy, or what we call moisturize it properly. So there will be what we call invisible sweating there. So you may need less water as compared to summer, but you do need to drink more water even in winter. Rather, we have seen that most of the cases of burning micturition, or what we call cystitis, we get in winter. Because of the cold, they cannot consume, they don't consume more water consciously, and therefore they get dehydrated, and naturally the urine will be more and more concentrated, and if this continues for a while, the bladder gets inflamed. So cystitis cases, what we call strangury, we get more in winter than summer here. It's because of the ignorance of the people.
Yes. Now, I would like to ask about the quantity of water before each meal. I mean, the water fills the body, does it not? Does it inhibit the quantity of food one takes?
Yes, much will depend upon. See, like for simple example, rice, cooked rice, if we are eating, the rice itself contains 70% component of water. So naturally, you will need relatively less water if you are a rice eater. But if you are like a wheat chapati or bread you are eating, you would need little more water as compared to the rice eater. So definitely it depends upon the type of food we eat. Then type of work we do. If someone is taking up lot of physical exercise or exertion during work, one would definitely tend to sweat and would tend to get dehydrated. So we have to drink more water there also. Then some people, they have even sometimes an individual tendency to sweat little more on certain part. So there you have to drink little more water just to compensate. But like capacity wise, if you see, it's again, it would vary from individual to individual to certain extent. But definitely it will be more during dry heat as well as dry cold. as compared to humid climate like rainy season,
like here.
or Pondicherry. But definitely quantity, we have seen that it can be even up to 10 liters a day
Whoa.
if someone is exerting a lot. So it can be a 10 liters a day, so that the person passes urine quantity maybe around 2 liters to 3 liters maximum. But on an average, 1.5 liter to 2 liters is average. That much urine one passes
Per day.
But it can be little more also depending upon the need. So suppose one is diabetic, or one is having uric acid levels more, so body would definitely try to emit these things through urine. So one has to frequently pass urine. So on an average, in summer we advise 4.5 to 5 liters of water consumption in Pondicherry, and in winter about 3 liters on an average. But human body can need more than even 10 liters sometimes.
What's the minimum that's recommended?
That's what we say, depending upon the type of food.
Okay,
But
okay.
our criteria is very simple, that you are passing clear urine. Your urine output is optimum, and it's a clear urine, not a concentrated urine. That is our criteria.
Okay.
That is how we read it.
Some people suggest a little cinnamon in the water or a little lemon in the water.
Lemon we recommend on empty stomach.
On empty stomach.
On empty stomach for two reasons. One is it has vitamin C. It's a natural vitamin C in the lemon. At the same time, it gives a stimulation to the brain, with the recognition that our stomach has more acidic pH, and that inhibits acid secretion for the whole day. Because actually the acid secretion in stomach is governed through branches of vagus in the stomach. On empty stomach, the nerves are very sensitive in stomach wall.
And this would be before breakfast generally?
Empty stomach, yes,
Empty
as soon as
stomach.
one gets up.
Okay.
Regarding cinnamon tea, it's a very good element which helps us in building our immunity. Plus, in India, we suggest that you drink cinnamon decoction instead of the conventional tea or coffee, because tea and coffee abuse causes hyperacidity and many problems as a rebound effect. It stimulates initially, but then as a rebound effect, it gives dullness. Or even if it stimulates at the cost of your own calories. So finally, it is a tiring effect later. So we advise cinnamon, just to see that person, if he is addicted to tea or coffee, cinnamon decoction is little helpful. At the same time, because it is in lieu of tea and coffee, the toxicity is not there.
Do you then recommend people don't drink tea or coffee?
We do recommend them not to depend upon such stimulations. Not good.
I see.
But if one is too much, addict, it's again a psychologically, if they go on feeling deprived of it, we suggest them at least don't drink on empty stomach. You drink after food, immediately after food, so that it is not toxic. It is less toxic, we can say. So we allow them to drink for 1 hour after food. So because it takes 1 hour to empty your stomach, so it is less toxic.
But never with food.
Not with food, as a terminal part of food. Yeah. You can call it with food. Because what happens when you eat, the food has to churn in the stomach. So as a terminal part of your meal, if you are taking tea or coffee, it becomes with food only.
Okay.
So that should be fine, but not on empty stomach.
So what about these green teas and herbal teas we hear so much about?
We have some plant um, I think leaves and even flowers, even the roots, they can be very good components for herbal tea, like tulsi.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsi gives wonderful immunity for against cold and cough.
Mm.
So green tea is not harmful, rather it is very good. It doesn't have
Oh.
toxicity, at the same time it stimulates immunity or healing system in our body.
Mm.
So it's good so long as you are not taking with lot of sugar.
Ah, yes, of course. Huh. Um, how else can the body withstand heat other than water?
See, like if one has taken heavy meal, so the stomach is again churning in our body, and that causes definitely a heat in our system. So best way we advise in summer is during hot hours of the day you should not be eating full stomach, very light food, and be in hibernation. If you are doing carrying out hectic activity, physical exertion, when the outside temperature is above your body temperature, then definitely you feel tired easily. So see that you hibernate during hot hours. If the temperature crosses say 38 degree, or if it is above 40, it is always better to be in the shade, not exposed directly to the sun, and at the same time have slow activity. So when it is hot, instead of walking fast, you walk very slowly, so you don't exert, so the temperature internally doesn't go up,
Ah,
and so little bit of relative hibernation helps.
are there any fruits that help to cool the body?
See, there is one thumb rule that whatever comes in that season is good for the particular season. This applies to even fruits in summer.
So,
In India,
so mangoes are good
India,
in
yes,
summer,
exactly. Mango
but they're
in
full of
summer.
sugar.
Yeah, but relatively you eat less in lieu of fluid, and the sugar in the mangoes is not the same carbohydrate as we get in the white sugar. It is fructose.
Yes, understand.
So that never causes, excess of it never causes fatty degeneration in liver.
What about in diabetes?
Yeah, even in diabetes, see, it is in diabetes 90% cases of diabetics are not because of insulin deficiency. They have enough insulin, only thing is they don't have active insulin because there is insulin resistance, or what we call anti-insulin element is secreted more to nullify the effect of insulin. So even in diabetics, we allow them to take ample of fruits, but not in addition to usual food. The fruits can be the part of the food. So definitely the carbohydrate which is coming from fruits is a healthy carbohydrate which will never cause fatty degeneration or complication.
Hmm.
Maybe the blood sugar may get raised for a while, but there would be no sequelae of diabetes. The
Oh,
fatty degeneration and all will never be there if the fructose is consumed more. So they are
I
very safe.
I see. I
And
go.
more or less, like see this mango, we always tell that if you eat mangoes in the summer season, which we get here, between like it starts at the March end to around June, 2 months if you consume mangoes, the vitamin A what you get from mangoes is enough for whole year.
Oh,
Because
hmm.
in your cooked food you hardly have vitamin A, because of cooking the vitamins are destabilized. So mangoes we eat raw, ripe mango.
Right,
So
mango. Yes.
definitely that provides you ample of vitamin A which is enough for whole year.
I have been told by some friends that pomegranate juice actually cleans the arteries. Is that a mistake?
It is actually it's true. It's true.
It's true.
See, we always say that citrus fruit is to be taken on empty stomach, and all other sweet fruits are to be taken after food as a terminal part of meal.
Okay.
Papaya and apple and
After.
banana and everything. Pomegranate is the only fruit we advise you can take it on empty stomach as well as after food.
Oh.
So it's wonderful part of the food.
What about guava?
Guava, it is the richest source of vitamin C. Only one difference in guava is we suggest that don't eat guava on empty stomach because it has that astringent. Then the seeds also they can't be ground properly and they are so that affects the motility of stomach. That goes in hypermotility sometimes. So we advise guava to be taken with food, but not as a terminal part or as a earlier part, but we along with the food.
With food.
So that is the and that is very good for patients who have the tendency to be constipated. Along with vitamin, of course, it is the richest source of vitamin C among fruits.
Well, this is certainly very enlightening. Thank you so much, sir.